This isn't just about making something pretty. It's about turning a flat file folder into a functional piece of storytelling, one flap at a time. It's messy, it's weird, but by the end, it holds a story you can feel. Today, we're turning a regular file folder into a steampunk traveler's wallet full of flips, secrets, and suspicious compartments. And it all starts with the base, wonk, and all. If you're not subscribed yet, now's the time, because Thaddeus doesn't leave footprints, and the next video might already be in another century. With him, it's never if things get weird, just when. Hi, it's time once again for coffee, crafting, and cats with the Ginger Cat Lady. I'm Pam, and Harley is currently off duty. He is somewhere offering zero help and maximum judgment. Today's video is part of my ongoing Steampunk Travelers Folio series, a project I started for the Let's Go Steampunk collaboration hosted by Cheryl's Crafts. While this particular video isn't one of my official collab entries, the collaboration itself features over 30 amazing creators and multiple giveaways. You can catch my official collab projects from Sunday's Folio build and again on June 1st. To be eligible for the giveaways, make sure you subscribe to all of the Masterful Tinkerers and leave a comment on the official collab videos. You'll find the playlist, kits, and full schedule linked below. And if you make something inspired by the collab, don't forget to tag it with hashtag Let's Go Steampunk so we can see your time-bending creations too. Today, we're laying the groundwork for Thaddeus' Steampunk Traveler's Wallet, starting with a humble file folder, a bit of reckless enthusiasm, and a few design decisions Harley may have filed under absolutely not. Let me show you how I built the base. The supplies I'll be using today are some acrylic paints made by Aura. They're called Metacrylics. This is in the color Indigo Purple, and this is the color Stump. Some die-cut gears. I'll be using the white ones to paint for my closure. You'll need some eyelets, again for your closures. 2 file folders. I'm using some hanging file folders. I just pulled the hanging part out and cut the extra thickness along the side off, but you can use regular file folders. I loved this one because it kind of almost looked like worn leather already, but any color will work, and you could cover it with paper if you wanted to instead of just leaving it solid like this. And then, of course, you'll need some of Cheryl's fabulous steampunk papers. This is the Gothic Steampunk paper. I'm not a purple person. I'm not a Gothic person, but I am in love with these papers. They are so absolutely incredible. All right, enough talking about what we're using. Let's go use it. All right, let's start building this base. I started by folding the 2 sides of the file folder in toward the center, but not all the way to the middle. I lined them up with the 2 score lines that are closest to that center fold. That gave me a clean gatefold without adding too much bulk at the spine. Then I scored and folded the bottom of the folder up about 3 1/4 inches to form the pocket base. To make it all close properly, I trimmed out the folded bits between each pocket panel. Otherwise, things get chunky and fight you. To give the folio a little room to breathe, I creased the first score line on either side of the folder's natural center fold. That gave me a 1/2 inch spine. Nothing fancy, just enough space to work with. I also reinforced the spine by gluing a strip of cardstock to the inside for extra stability. Ever since the chaotic detour in the Bohemian Clockworks district, where an entire folder collapsed and scattered paperwork everywhere, Thaddeus has insisted all future folios be reinforced, non-negotiable. Now for the flaps. For the top flap, I grabbed a second hanging file folder and cut a piece the same width as the folio and about 3¾ inches tall. I then scored a 1/4 inch from the bottom, then another 1/2 inch above the top to make a spine. At the top, I measured 1 centimeter in from each side and drew diagonal lines to the corners of the fold. Then I trimmed along those lines to give it an angled shape. I tried to round the corners with a punch, but the angle wasn't 90 degrees, so scissors to the rescue. That flap was supposed to get glued to the third panel from the left, in accordance with Thaddeus's rule of thumb. Always add at least 1 misleading flap, preferably 2. Did I follow the plan? Technically, just not my original plan. For the side cover flap, I cut a piece the same size as the closed folio, plus a 1/2 inch tab on one side. I used the folded side of the folder so I could just use those existing score lines to make a nice little spine. That piece got glued to the back of the right gatefold to form the main cover flap. Everything's going great until it isn't. I glued the top flap on completely wrong and didn't realize it until after I had already finished the side flap. Thaddeus would call it intentional misdirection. I call it, dang it. If you're new here, welcome to the chaos. This is how we learn, one backwards flap installation at a time. Then came the flip up and out. I cut an 8x8 square and scored and folded it in half. Then I scored a 1/2 inch tab along the top. After cutting out the folded bit and mitering the corner, I trimmed off the tab from the right side. Since that side folds inward, keeping the tab would have blocked the flap from opening properly. This piece was then glued to the inside top of the cover flap. Next was the Z-fold, or at least that's what you see after all the folding magic already happened off screen. I cut a 4.5 by 11.5 inch piece from the same second folder, scored a 1/2 inch tab on one end, and folded it into a Z shape before filming resumed. That tab got glued to the back of the leftmost panel when the folio was closed. Trust me, Thaddeus would have approved of the editing trickery. Misdirection is his kind of thing. From here, I rounded as many corners as I could, inked the edges, and started covering everything. I used that rich, moody purple train paper from Cheryl's Gothic Steampunk kit to anchor the back panel. Dramatic, industrial, and mysterious enough to suit Thaddeus perfectly. Honestly, it feels like it was torn straight from his classified travel log. added some yummy coordinating papers from the kit to the 4 inside panels, including the 4 pocket sections along the bottom. I glued one side of each pocket down for now. I'll do the rest of the decorating later. So somehow the entire process of making and sewing in the mini journal vanished into the time stream. I'm not saying Thaddeus tampered with the footage, but let's just say the man has a history of accidentally misplacing documents. Here's what should have been on camera: 6 pages, 2 digital, 2 copy dyed copy paper, 2 grid, stitched into the folio between panels 2 and 3. The cover is one of Cheryl's digital pages printed double-sided on cardstock. Quick, simple, mysteriously undocumented. This journal might look innocent enough, but don't be fooled. It's a decoy. Thaddeus tucked it in here on purpose. If anyone were to snoop through this folio, they'd find what looks like a harmless little journal instead of his real travel log. Smart man. That Bohemian Clockworks fiasco? It was chaos, classified, and completely preventable, depending on who you ask. Ever since, Thaddeus has made misdirection an art form. Now, whilst most of the journal's construction mysteriously vanished into the time stream, I did manage to catch the part where I installed a closure on this chunky monkey. I added an eyelet to the back panel and tied in a length of waxed cord to hold it shut. So hey, at least we have evidence of something. The cord wraps around to the front and tucks neatly under a vertical goggle die cut. I only glued down the lower lens, leaving the bridge and top lens free so it acts like a steampunk-style hook. It's secured and stylish, like something Thaddeus might have swapped up an old automaton. And yes, I did give the goggles a little personality. They're painted in storm metallic acrylic and dry brushed with indigo purple. I also tied on a tiny key charm and a little charm that says handmade, because why not give your innocent looking notebook some flair? To hold the entire folio closed, I added an eyelet to the front flap, looped the wax cord through the eyelet, and then wrapped it around the folio several times. Now it closes securely and adds to the whole secret agent meets rogue engineer vibe. There's still plenty to do, from belly bands and passports to secret compartments and suspicious dossiers, but the bones of the traveler's folio are finally in place. that's where we'll pause today. Our steampunk traveler's wallet is finally taking shape, with flaps, folds, and enough secret compartments to keep even the most nosiest nemesis guessing. We didn't get into Thaddeus's backstory too much in this video, but make no mistake, he's up to something. The Ministry of Steam has questions, his rivals are circling, and his travel log is starting to read like a classified file. But don't worry, his secrets are safe for now, at least until the next installment. In the next video, we'll turn our attention to the Z-fold and flip-out sections and build out Thaddeus's mysterious dossier and forbidden documents. There's a Ministry of Steam envelope involved, and let's just say it may or may not be legal. If you're enjoying the journey so far, go ahead and give this video a like, share it with a fellow time traveler, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And for more secret compartments, suspicious blueprints, and mysterious gear-stamped mayhem, check out the previous video right here, where we built Thaddeus's original passport and travel log. And as always, may your scraps be endless and your glue never dry. See you in the next one. Bye.